Alright everyone, Project Motor Racing has finally launched, but it's still not quite where it wants to be. So you might ask yourself, what should you play right now if you want a genuinely fun career mode? That's exactly what we're diving into today, because there are some seriously strong titles out there. I could go deep into the hardcore PC sims for everyone chasing full simulation, but today is about career modes, just for completeness. If you want online multiplayer, look at Le Mans Ultimate, iRacing, Race Room, or ACC. If you want something with less online focus, Automobilista 2 is great, and even includes cars that Project Motor Racing highlights, like the Audi R8 Le Mans prototype. Assetto Corsa is also on console, but unlocks its full potential only on PC, where it's basically endless, thanks to mods that allow day-night cycles, rain, and a ridiculous number of cars and tracks. For these games, I'd always recommend a wheel. But let's move to the games that actually have career modes and work well on a controller. We start with Gran Turismo Sport, released on PlayStation 4 and playable on PlayStation 5. It works great on both controller and wheel. The online servers are gone, but before they shut down, the game received a ton of single-player content. The AI isn't the smartest, but the car list is massive, and for about €7, you really can't go wrong. Gran Turismo 7, the successor on PS4 and PS5, also plays great on controller and wheel, has multiplayer, and still gets free content drops. They will soon add 2 new tracks, Abu Dhabi and Montreal, and there are tons of cars to enjoy. The AI is still pretty dumb though, and most races are start last, finish first situations. I'll use this video as a reason to revisit some of these games in the coming days so you can see what they offer. If you don't want to miss that, hit subscribe. Some of these older games cost less than a sandwich. That includes Project Cars 1, released on PS4, Xbox One and PC. I'm not sure how easy it is to find today, and I'm unsure how good it is on controller. But it includes several cars from Project Motor Racing and costs almost nothing, usually $3 to $5. The sequel, Project Cars 2, also on PS4, Xbox and PC, also includes many of the cars you see in Project Motor Racing. It honestly looks as good or better than PMR despite being nearly 10 years old. And you can drift on ice on the Nordschleife. How cool is that? Both games have career modes, but they also had issues Project Motor Racing struggles with today, like inconsistent AI difficulty depending on the track or even specific corners. If your main focus is a good career mode, take a look at the F1 series. With F1 2017, 2020, 23 and 25, you can't really go wrong. Longtime fans may be tired of the formula, but newcomers can get a great experience for a small budget. F1 2017 is especially fantastic and plays extremely well on controller. Now let's get to the final 2 games, and these are my strongest recommendations. The first one is Project Cars 3, released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. It was probably even more controversial than Project Motor Racing is today. Project Cars 1 and 2 pretended to be simulations, even though I never liked their handling. Project Cars 3 went full arcade, while still being marketed as a sim successor. But if you drop that expectation, Project Cars 3 is genuinely a good arcade racer. It has a big career mode, even though the progression might be too slow from time to time, but it also includes tuning and a huge car list. It's genuinely fun to drive, especially on controller, and even with wheel it works well. The load times are long, but the game overall is very solid. But there is one game that tops it. Grid Legends, probably the best racing game nobody knows. Grid Legends is fantastic. It launched at the worst possible moment. Right after Elden Ring and right before Gran Turismo 7. It never stood a chance, but it's full of great surprises. A genuinely good story mode. A career mode tied to that story. Tons of cars, tons of events. Pretty much everything people expected from Project Cars or Project Motor Racing, and even more. Even if the car and track lists aren't identical to other racing games, Grid Legends is easily the coolest racer that never got the recognition it deserved. It plays great on controller, looks really good, has tons of content, and costs around $20 to $30. It's available on PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. And because you might ask whether Rennsport could be an alternative to Project Motor Racing, my answer is no. It's fun to drive on controller and wheel, and the online multiplayer is well made. But the game barely has content, has bugs, and does too many things poorly for me to recommend it. So my advice is to stick to the games in this list, from Gran Turismo Sport all the way up to Grid Legends. You don't need to spend a lot of money, and you definitely don't need the newest releases to have fun. There are tons of PlayStation 2, PS3 and Xbox 360 titles I could recommend too, but that's something for another video. I hope this helped and that you enjoyed the video. If so, leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.